we're here with Paul Carlson. He's the founder of Vinoteca and the Royal.
That's correct.
So I wanted to ask you a few questions about your life as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I was wondering what motivated you to get into restaurants and becoming an entrepreneur?
I had spent a portion of my professional career working for a corporation, and I realized that to get where I wanted to be professionally, it might take me a particular amount of time. I also wanted to be in a position where I would be able to determine a little bit more of the course of my career, and therefore, in the profession that I liked, the best course of action was to create my own business. So that's why I did it.
And why specifically restaurants?
Oh, I've always had a passion for food and drink. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always that way. And my entire life, I've always worked or been involved in something having to do with food. And so it was just the natural progress of my career just to get into that.
Were you like a young entrepreneur type, like had your own restaurant when you were a kid, or like a food stand?
Not necessarily. I mean, I did little things when I was a little kid. Like when I lived in Guatemala, I sold avocados to people. Yeah, I would pick avocados from the tree in my house and sell them to the embassy when I was a little kid when I lived in Guatemala. Yeah. But yeah, I always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
So.
Cool actually. So how did the concept of Vinoteca come to you?
Actually, it was. I think and I think this is one of the foundations of being an entrepreneur is just doing your research. And when I decided that I wanted to open a restaurant, it was nothing in particular having to do with wine or the specifics of this one business. Is that I sat down and I did my research and I tried to look for the thing that was missing within the market that I was living in. And after doing my research, I noticed that the specific concept of my business was lacking. And I figured that my best chance of success was to provide a service or a product that wasn't available to people. And therefore, that's how I came up with that concept.
So there was like no wine?
There was no wine. Well, there was maybe one, but it wasn't necessarily very good. But in doing my research of my market, I figured that was the one place that was undeserving.
What were the major obstacles of putting in your first business?
The largest obstacle when I started my first business, I have to say, is the management of money. I think that people don't realize or don't plan ahead enough to know about the fluctuations in money. And we discussed this in our class a lot about cash flow. Owning a small business holds a lot of expenses. And with those expenses, you need to manage the flow in and flow out of cash. I think the number one factor is people. The people that you surround yourself with. I think those that have found really large successes are people who have consciously put themselves around other people that have that similar trait. Meaning, and I think out of education and training and experience, I've found and learned a way to both recruit, train, and sustain certain people that were very talented. And therefore that helped me grow as a business and then succeed into opening other businesses. So I think people is the biggest asset. And if you do a good job at recruiting, training, and maintaining those people, you can set yourself up for a lot of success.
What do you think is like the biggest mistake you've ever made as an entrepreneur?
Biggest mistake. It's a tough one. I've made a lot of them, but the one that's caused the most. I don't know. I think it's making decisions when you're not prepared for them. We talk about this a lot in class, but researching. We live in a world where we can collect data for anything. And if I would have been a little bit more diligent in researching and collecting data before making decisions, either before opening my business or on particular things, I probably would have made a smarter decision. And that smarter decision could have saved me a lot of stress and a lot of money at the end of the day. So, but being an entrepreneur is about learning yourself. I mean, I went to college, I have a degree, but nobody taught me how to do what I do. Nobody. I learned it myself. And we can try to teach you as much, but we're not going to teach you. What we can teach you is how to prepare yourself, how to better prepare yourself for success and failure. From there, it's all on you. If you're a smart person, if you are passionate about what you do, you can find success, but no one can teach you how to be the right entrepreneur.